by John Walker, Gau-8 Avenger and Volkswagen Beetle. Public domain photo by the U.S. Air Force. When admiring somebody's tricked-out AK or AR platform, complete with Picatinny rail, laser, night vision sight, suppressor, and bayonet, you might be inclined to say, what a badass weapon, but when it comes to badassery among firearms, there is a pyramid, and near the peak is the Gau-8 Avenger. Let's look at some of the details of this bad boy. Well, first of all, it's big. Cast your eye at the picture above comparing it to a Volkswagen Beetle. What you see is the gun itself, at the left, which is 2.85 meters long, attached to the ammunition feed assembly. Together, they are called the AA49E6 gun system, which brings the total length to 6 meters. The barrels are 2.3 meters in length, chambered for the 30x173mm cannon round. Total weight, without ammunition, is 281 kilograms. Fully loaded, the gun and ammunition weigh around 1800 kilograms. This is not your weapon of choice for concealed carry. The design is based upon that of the 19th century Gatling gun. There are 7 barrels mounted around the periphery of a cylinder. While the original Gatling gun was hand-cranked, the Gau-8's barrel cylinder is rotated by 2 hydraulic motors. Although it is a repeating weapon, it is not an automatic weapon in the usual sense. As the cylinder rotates, each barrel is loaded, fired, unloaded, and reloaded in sequence by a system of cams. The recoil and gas from rounds fired plays no part in the operation of the gun. This means that a misfire does not affect the firing of subsequent rounds. 30x173mm cannon round compared to a .3006 Springfield main battle rifle round. Image licensed under the Creative Commons Attribution Share Alike 3.0 unported license from user SAMF4U at English Wikipedia. The gun is chambered for the 30x173mm round. There are 3 versions of this round: an armor-piercing incendiary with a projectile consisting of an aluminium jacket and a depleted uranium penetrator, and a high-explosive incendiary. A combat load usually consists of a belt with 5 of the armor-piercing rounds to 1 high-explosive. An inexpensive target practice round is also available. If you're in the market, here is the data sheet. The ammunition uses a lightweight aluminium cartridge case instead of the usual brass or steel. This allows aircraft to carry more rounds. Ballistic performance of the 3 kinds of ammunition is almost identical. The muzzle velocity of the armor-piercing incendiary round PGU-14 API is 1013 ms/second, with a projectile mass of 395 grams. This gives a muzzle energy of around 203,000 joules. This is on the order of 10 times the energy of the .50 BMG round, which is generally considered rather badass, and more than 100 times that of the 5.56 times 45mm cartridge fired by the M16 and its variants. If one of these is coming your way, hiding behind a car won't save you. Neither will hiding behind a tank. But the whole point of the Gau-8 is that there's never just one round coming your way. As each barrel rotates to the 9 o'clock position as seen from the front. Pro tip: don't observe it from there, it fires, and rounds are discharged as rapidly as the barrel cylinder spins. When the trigger is initially pulled and the barrel spins up, it fires about 50 rounds in the first second, then 65 rounds per second thereafter. The sustained rate of fire is 3,900 rounds per minute, or 65 rounds per second. It does not sound like a machine gun. The rate of fire is so rapid it's more like BRRRRRRRP. The gun is usually fired in 1 or 2 second bursts, but there's no reason the entire ammunition load of 1150 rounds couldn't be expended in a single mad 18-second burst. Anybody who did this would probably have some splaining to do and lots of forms to fill out, as it would reduce barrel life. Accuracy is specified as 80% of rounds falling within a cone 5 milliradians from the point of aim. At a range of 1,200 meters, 80% of rounds will hit within a 12 meters diameter circle. A-10 Thunderbolt II, Warthog, public domain photo by the U.S. Air Force. The Gau-8 is carried by the A-10 Thunderbolt II close air support aircraft, better known by its nickname, Warthog. Well, not so much carried. It's more accurate to say that the A-10 was built around the gun. The gun accounts of 16% of the plane's weight. When it's removed, the plane has to be mounted on a jack stand to keep it from tipping back on its tail. The gun is installed offset to the right as viewed from the front. Again, don't stand there so that the firing barrel will be aligned with the center line of the plane as it fires. This is important. The recoil from a Gau-8 firing full tilt is greater than the thrust of the plane's two engines, and if it were offset from the center of mass, firing the gun would cause the plane to veer off course. When the gun fires, the oxygen-free combustion products from the ammunition may be ingested into the plane's engines, causing them to flame out. The engine igniters are automatically activated whenever the gun is firing to prevent this. Spent cartridge cases are not ejected overboard. This would shift the center of gravity of the plane and possibly render it uncontrollable, as well as pose a hazard to any plane flying nearby or below. Instead, they are captured and retained in the ammunition magazine, then unloaded at the end of the mission. The A-10 is the only aircraft to use the Gau-8. It was designed into the Dutch Goalkeeper CIWS close-in weapon system shipboard defense system, which is deployed by the navies of 8 countries. Naturally, one wonders about other applications. Randall Munro has calculated that if you mounted a Gau-8 on a compact car, pointed aft, and fired it, you could accelerate to the speed limit in less than 3 seconds. There is a delightful cartoon, which I can't reproduce here for reasons of copyright, in the article discussing this. This may not be such a great idea, but it's cool. Where are the Mythbusters when you need them? Here is a short film about the A-10 and Gau-8. Tests of the Gau-8 on the test stand in Airborne by John Walker, August 2016. This document is in the public domain.